Southern Maryland is one of the fastest growing areas in the state of Maryland. One of the concerns when the tobacco buyout came about was that farms who were no longer receiving income from the tobacco sales would be inclined to sell their farms. And so that became the second goal of the tobacco buyout program, was to give funds to help the counties match their ongoing programs to preserve land so that we would have farms and local products into the future.
Well, Southern Maryland was basically a tobacco growing area, so tobacco was the #1 industry in Maryland. So when the tobacco buyout program came out, it was going to be a major challenge to encourage farmers to diversify from tobacco into other alternative crops.
I have probably 20 animals that I raise from the full spectrum, from babies all the way to full-grown market animals. And then I sell them now through the local farmers markets. Before, I used to sell the animals at live markets. And we don't have a lot of markets in this area, so I was going to Virginia to sell my animals. And now I'm selling at our local farmers market due to the fact that we have facilities that's been put in place from SMATIC, the Southern Maryland Ag Commission, and they've given us a great opportunity to, I would say, increase our bottom line.
One of the things that we realized very early on is that there's a huge demand for local products, for local farm food, for local wine, local meats. And we began a couple of promotional programs, our So Maryland So Good programs. We started that as just a branding campaign so that consumers could find farmers and farmers could find consumers.
The agritourism, sustainable agriculture, a lot of our operations have used the grant money. We've used it to build the building here and the shop and some of the things that we've added to it. Other farmers, a real successful program are the vineyards, wine, and that fits right in with the agritourism, growing grapes and producing your wine, bringing people in. And also the beef and the meat production really taken off.
I now slaughter the animals at a USDA facility. The animals are frozen, vacuum packed, and I bring it back to my farm. And that gives me the allowance to sell off the farm at the local farmers markets in a retail venue. And I also sell through to some restaurant chains.
We're also concerned about development, and we don't want development determining our culture. We want our culture to determine our development. And so
state policies now are encouraging rural areas to stay rural, and so therefore we try to encourage the land preservation programs, and of course to keep the development in our development districts. So when in preserving farms, yes, you want to preserve the land, but you also want to preserve the farmer. So you want to give them economic opportunities to stay profitable.
It's doing really well. It's doing really well. I have gotten it's been a growing response. People are coming back. I get a lot of return. People indicate that it's something they want to do, eat local products, know where the animals come from off of the local farms.
Charles County in Southern Maryland, the fastest growing region in the entire state. There's a big demand for land, so having farmers feel that they can continue farming profitably is helping us to preserve and maintain a lot of farmland here in Southern Maryland. And if it were not for SMATIC, I don't think we would be there.